Hey everybody, coming at you with a little bit longer of an analysis of Omaha. So I've decided I'm going to do this in one of two ways. I'm going to do the short minute videos just for people who want just kind of the gist of what's happening without all of my chit chat and jibber jabber. So you can flip to that if you want to just see the shorter version of this. It's the one before this probably. Then I'm going to make the longer analysis because it helps me collect my thoughts about the movie and remember what I saw. And if it interests you, then you're out there, great. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about Omaha. It was definitely rattling. This movie, it sneaks up on you. I know I said it yesterday with Tuner as well. It's just, it's so beautifully simplistic, right? It's not overdone. There's not over dramaticness to it. Is that even a word? Well, let's make it one. It's just a real simple premise, but the premise hits so hard that it will knock you out of your seat as it unfolds. And I feel like it's a lot like Hamnet in the sense that oh no, sorry, phone fell out of my hand. I feel like it's a lot like Hamnet that Hamnet I felt the same way. You're just sitting in there, you're kind of getting wrapped up in this world of this family, and then next thing you know, bam, major hit at the end, right? Very similar to Omaha. Not going to give anything away in this movie, but just know it's going to take you on a bit of an emotional ride as this father deals with the 2008 financial crisis and deals with the fact that his obviously something happened to his wife. We see in the beginning of the movie he's losing his house to the crisis. He asks his children to pack up things as if they were leaving. If there was a fire, what would they take with them? And so they take a picture of their mom and various other things. And then they get on the road with the two kids, the dog. Again, the kids played so beautifully. And I don't know that they've been in a lot of movies before. I didn't even check, but I wrote down the names just so I could just keep them in mind for the future. Molly Bell Wright, and Wyatt Solis play this brother and sister of John Nagaro's father, who, oh wow, they have to carry so much range. They have to carry the range of like being kids and living as kids in uncertainty of what their dad is doing, why they're taking this road trip. But they also have to, well, especially Molly Bell Wright's character, she has to essentially be a surrogate adult for her little brother because her dad is trying to hold it together, but you clearly see under the surface that he's not doing very well holding it together. There's lots of telltale signs that you'll see throughout the film as he takes this road trip that has systematic intentions as he goes from Utah to Wyoming to Nebraska. Some really surprising intentions that I don't think ever were telegraphed. So, it's pretty impactful. And John Nagaro, I've loved him in so many movies. Most recently, obviously, Past Lives. I loved Past Lives. And those who followed me back then know how much I love Past Lives as a story. And again, these are just simple stories, but they're so good, right? These are original stories that are being told. And I wish more people would check these movies out. Again, I'm going to repeat it. It feels like the independent wave of the 90s when all these really great original storytellers and these new voices were rising to the top. And we're seeing this now. And I'm afraid that because people are staying away from the movies and because of COVID and everything else, people are missing out on these stories, and then they just run off and write articles about how, it's just all repetition and nobody has anything to say anymore. It's just blockbusters. Blockbusters are good, but so are these. Like, the movies are so good, and we should all be going back to the movies and experiencing that together and taking in original stories that make us think, that make us kind of be introspective about ourselves. This movie, I couldn't help but be introspective. Number one, it was set in Utah, Wyoming, and Nebraska on the I-80 corridor where I grew up, right? I grew up Cheyenne, Wyoming. And so the familiar landscape of driving across that southern high plains road of I-80. You know, when you go from Cheyenne to Laramie, where I went to college at the University of Wyoming, to Rawlins, to Rock Springs, and into Utah, across Nebraska, which, no offense, Nebraska, but you're always in the way of me getting home to see my parents. And it's such a long state, but you get it. You get that idea. And also, I'll give Nebraska some credit. You get to stop and eat some runzas. So if you know, you know. And this road trip that he takes across this place, just this really profound moment of him questioning, him breaking down, or is he breaking down? And there's a lot of questions that are left in this film that you should go see it just to see that. And for me, road trips are such an important story too. I'm a huge road trip taker. Whenever I'm feeling low, whenever I feel kind of anxious, when I feel out of sorts, and I have a break, I hop in my car and I just go somewhere. I just tend to sleep in the back of the car at gas stations and truck stops, and shower at truck stops, and just wake up at the dawn and go somewhere new, and just to run as fast as I can to get my head working right. I can't even go into it, but one of my favorite road trips, and that's this movie related in that sense to me, was after COVID and after divorce. Took the kids on a Route 66 drive. We just got in the car in Chicago. We got a rental car and we drove from Chicago to LA on Route 66. Took a couple weeks, stopped at a bunch of sites, explored the conversations they have in the car, the games they play in the car to keep themselves busy. I kept having these memories of the times in that car with my kids, coping with all the things that had just happened to us, all the life changes from quarantine to our family reaching a new dynamic, right? The songs we sang, the music that played on the radio, the inside jokes that we have now from that drive. And this movie really captures that. And in a way that, there are a lot of road trip movies out there. Like the American Story is quintessentially a road trip, right? And I think that's important too, like all the great movements of America, whether it was the Great Migration or whether it was the Okies and the Arkies on Route 66 or the Oregon Trail, are all Lewis and Clark, are all road trip stories. And this is another one. I think I did like it. I often compare these movies to something I don't feel like a lot of people saw. Because of COVID, with Sabrina Carpenter's movie, losing my mind, The Long History of the Short Road. Probably got that in reverse. So that was such a good movie for a road trip, and it dealt with very similar issues: loss of family, loss of stability, change of time. And Sabrina Carpenter is so good in it. I fear a lot of people didn't see it. And if you get a chance to watch it, go see it. I liked it much better than Nomadland, which won the Best Picture that year, with similar themes. And this too, it's the scenery, right? It's very Alexander Payne-like in his viewpoints of driving and just being on this trip. So it's so good, so powerful in so many surprising ways. Like I said, just him giving the kids time to be kids, knowing that the pressure and letting them fly a kite in the salt flats of Salt Lake, or just, the sitting and eating ice cream together, or the time they go to a zoo, just those moments, so good. And family being together and taking care of each other in spite of all the chaos, right? And, we're living through hard times and all those things. And, how do you stay together? How do you keep your sanity together? Movie's got so many great themes. If you want to go check it out, Omaha, it's certain to get some nominations if this movie holds up and people go see the movies. Go back to the movies. Go see Omaha.